We're just incredibly excited to be taking off today to head to Louisville. Just really excited about the opportunity that's in front of us. And we've been working the whole season for this opportunity right here. So just anxious to capitalize.
What's tough about Gonzaga? What have you seen the last couple of days on film? What do you like about them? What's tough about them?
Yeah, I mean, they're an incredibly relentless rebounding team. They out-rebound opponents by 10. The other thing is, they run a lot of really good actions. I feel like, when we look at some of their breakdowns and the way they guard and man-to-man defense, they play a lot the same way we would like to play ourselves. But they start super seniors, seniors, juniors. They're a little more veteran and experienced roster. So I think that's what makes them tough and challenging. Is they're very poised. They don't get rattled easy. When they're down, they just continue to play at their pace, and they make big plays and just like veterans do.
I know a lot of focus goes on their twins, but Melody Kempton, she kind of plays inside the three-point line, does a lot of her work down there. How tough is she?
She is tough. She just, she can go right, she can go left. She's very crafty. She can open face from kind of a pro post and take you off the dribble. She can play with her back to the basket. She's just incredibly crafty, and she's a great offensive rebounder. And they just work so well together. Their high-low game, their post players pass it to each other very well. They play together. They're smart, and she's just a tough matchup.
Amy, this is just the second time in school history that a coach has been able to take the team that she played for to the NCAA tournament. You were, of course, a part of the first time. What does that add to this whole element for you to have that be in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's just pretty special. It's every single day when you are working and grinding for the program that you poured your own blood, sweat, and tears into. There's just something kind of extra about that. It's just a special feeling then to remember the experiences that I had as a player playing in the NCAA tournament, and then to know that our players are getting that opportunity as well and going to have those same memories.
Why do you think your team is playing the best basketball right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing is that we've been able to kind of learn how to take advantage of what people have been trying to really kind of take away. I think that, we're playing to the strengths of a player like Alexis Markowski, who can really be dominant in the paint, but also can stretch the defense. And then having a player like Izzy Bourne, who's kind of figuring that out and understanding where her opportunities are going to come from outside of that. And, at times Jazz Shelley is being, really aggressive-minded offensively with scoring the basketball, but she also knows that in certain ball games she can affect the game by getting other people open. But players like Sam Hybe and Allison Widener, who are hunting the paint and finding ways to get paint touches and really putting pressure on defenses, and that's creating a lot of offense for other players. But I think just, we've got a great mix on our team this year of experienced players and some kind of young and hungry and excited players, and we're finally figuring out how to kind of mesh those two things together and playing much better basketball.
It's going to be almost 2 weeks since you last played. I mean, how have you kept it fresh over the last, it'll be almost 14 days?
Yeah, I think Jazz mentioned in our press conference the other day, she's like, I don't really remember the last time that I guarded Sam Hybe in practice, but we've done a little bit of that. We've mixed things up. We've tried to make even teams. We've got competitive. We've done more kind of scrimmage and situational play where we're, just trying to, go against somebody that we knows everything that we're trying to do and prepare for teams that are going to have us well scouted.
Has this week kind of dragged on for you guys? You're just at that point that you're just ready to play?
I think for us as coaches, we've valued the opportunity to kind of recharge our, give our kids an opportunity to kind of do some recovery and get healthy. But and we're constantly watching film and in prep mode. But I think our players, after getting so used to kind of playing every other day for a while there in our conference season, I think they're really ready to go.
How nice was it, though, to give a couple of days rest? I know last week, I think they got a couple days off and then practice, then a couple days off. Was that just nice to give them that chance to recharge?
Yeah, I think it was welcomed in a lot of senses. Just they're really good. This team has been very professional with their approach about getting in and taking care of their bodies and doing different recovery methods. And so even on a day off, they're getting with our athletic trainer and our strength coach and doing the things they need to just keep their bodies fresh and ready to go.
You were pretty excited about Jazz before the season. Like, I mean, you were confident that it was going to go well. How did she live up to and exceed your expectations?
Yeah, we knew Jazz was a great player. We watched her play a lot in Australia, and then a lot in her first couple of years at Oregon, and so we knew she was a great player. I think that she's exceeded my expectations in just what type of teammate she is, just how tremendous she's been about just really kind of ingraining herself into and improving our team's culture. She obviously is a great passer. We kind of knew that. We've seen she's capable of having big scoring games and big shooting games, but I think the other thing that has really surpassed my expectations is just, she's on the all defensive team for the media, and the way that we've been able to depend on her defensively and the contributions she's been making with rebounding, just an all-around versatile player.
You couldn't be as good as she is and not be really, really competitive. On the court, she doesn't necessarily show a lot of that, like, anger or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Where do you see that fire burn in her the most that makes her the player she is?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably where I see it the most, there was one game early this season where it wasn't her best shooting game, and the next morning I had come in early for a meeting or something that I had going the next morning, a little earlier than normal, and she was already in the gym with the lights on, and she was getting shots up, and I think that's where that fire burns. It's more kind of something where she's got great composure about her. She's got great kind of imposition on the court. She never gets super rattled, but she has that fire that burns, and you can see that by the commitment that she makes and the work ethic she has off the court and out of practice.
In the time you've had since you got back from Indy, being able to take in the high school state tournament, and even going back through this season as fans came back to PBA for you this year, do you have a sense of some momentum that exists maybe for you guys around here and for your sport in general around here right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no doubt about it. We've been incredibly grateful to have fans back in the stands, but I think there is some momentum for Nebraska women's basketball. You can feel it. It's palpable. It wasn't just myself, but every one of the players that wanted to get out and watch high school state basketball and get in the gym. There were hundreds of picture opportunities and just little kids wanting to come up and take their picture with Alexis Markowski or Jazz Shelley or Sam Hybe or any of those players, just just wanting to be around them, wanting to be a part of. I think this is a special team. It's a special group. People can feel that, and it's easy to want to get behind. And I think right now there's a lot of really good momentum in our program, and I just feel like no reason why people wouldn't want to get out and buy season tickets for next year already.
I know your focus is on your team, but this is also a really special year in the fact that this is the first time the tournament is carrying the March Madness name for women. Yeah. When you think of the momentum that the Big Ten, Nebraska have brought to this game, you see the highest rating, like the viewership and the ratings in years on the Big Ten network. Knowing that you're going into this tournament with it carrying that March Madness for the first time, what does it mean to you as a coach to see the sport giving the recognition to the athletes that they so greatly deserved?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that question, and I think it's just such an tremendous time to be a part of women's basketball and watching the growth that's taking place, and with the attention that was brought to some of the discrepancies in the tournaments 1 year ago, and the way that action steps, since I've been at Nebraska, I don't think there's been one Big Ten head coaches meetings that I've been in that the head coaches aren't just adamant about proposing we should have 68 teams playing in the NCAA tournament and not 64, and it felt like nobody was listening, and now all of a sudden we're going to be playing in the first NCAA tournament with 68 teams. That's being referred to as March Madness. That I think there will be a lot of other things that our team will notice when we get to Louisville that will be, different and palpable, that we'll be able to feel. And add to that the fact that the Big Ten Conference made the commitment to hire Megan Kahn, a VP for women's basketball in the Big Ten Conference, whose sole purpose is to continue to grow our sport and Big Ten women's basketball and the brand of each of our programs, and highlight the tremendous players and coaches that we have in this league. I just think it's an incredibly special time to be a part of it. I feel incredibly proud of the growth that's being made, and really excited for the future for our athletes and for our future athletes. Okay, let's bring on the real hits, the stars, the real stars, I guess.